Hey guys, so today I'm bringing you guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Jayden Daniels sports cards and 5 great opportunities that I see that should see a massive surge throughout the summer. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Alright guys, so the first player that will be, or the first card that will be on our list will be Jayden Daniels Color Blast rookie card. Now, of course, Jayden Daniels, a lot of his cards right now have, a lot of hype around them. I would say right now is a time where, as I'm recording this, they are about to play the Eagles on Sunday for a chance to play in the Super Bowl. A lot of Jayden Daniels cards right now have been seeing some massive growth. His cards, as you can see on alt, show that they're up around 70% in the last 90 days. He's having a legendary rookie season, but I think a lot of people could get burned on his cards if you're buying the wrong cards. A lot of his base cards right now are selling for an insane amount of money. If you just look at like his prism base sales right now, they're absolutely absurd. Like you'll see a prism base raw selling for around $50. You'll see a silver prism selling for $500, just raw. So, I think a lot of these cards right here are going to see steep declines just because no matter how good of a quarterback you are, you like those prices just frankly are not sustainable. You see a PSA 10 base card for CJ Stroud doing just $40, and a raw of Jayden Daniels is selling for more than that. So I think there's going to be some correction in those cards. But I think his Color Blast is a card that's going to see some great increase. I think there's going to be some very, very specific cards, some very sought after cards that are actually rare, that are going to see some great price increases. Right now, we're not seeing many public sales of his individual Color Blast. We see one right here. So this is a PSA 10 that sold for $13,500. I think a lot of these cards are just going to have so many buyers searching after these cards, these rare, limited cards of Jayden Daniels. He's not going to be signing, he's not going to have a true NT RPA. He's not going to have prism autos. So a lot of the demand, as we saw with Stroud last offseason, is going to go towards, his most sought after non-auto cards. And that's going to be his Color Blast is going to be one of them. This card is held up around $13,000 at a PSA 10. I think the upside's massive throughout the offseason. He's going to be the name of the summer, I think, at this point. We saw Stroud was the name of the summer last year, and he saw some massive Color Blast sales. And you could argue that, Jayden Daniels has been having possibly the best rookie season of all time. And we saw Stroud, his Color Blast, throughout the summer were selling, and continuing to go up. Like we saw his Color Blast in a PSA 10 for his vertical was, an $8,500 card at the beginning of the summer. And throughout the end of the summer, they jumped all the way up to, $11,000 to $14,000. So we saw some massive growth in Stroud's Color Blast. I think we're going to see the same with Jayden Daniels Color Blast throughout the offseason. Another card that kind of like comes into that same category in my mind is kabooms. We just saw a massive one-of-one green kaboom sale for $85,000 on eBay. And I think that's going to ignite a lot of his regular kabooms. I think his horizontal is a little bit overpriced right now. If we look at where Stroud's was last year, he's kind of like someone I'm comparing to. I think Daniels is going to have a hotter offseason than Stroud did last year. But at some point, I think it's good to get a gauge of where he's priced at. And I think his, horizontals are priced a little bit high. But I think, if he does end up losing in the playoffs, you're going to see a window to buy a lot of these cards. And I think the window is going to be short. But if a lot of these cards dip a little bit, I would definitely buy in. His vertical right here, it's around a $7,000 card raw. Definitely some super strong sales right now. Probably good opportunity to wait a little bit to see what happens. But yeah, if we look at what happened with Stroud's market throughout the last offseason and a lot of other players that people are speculating on, we could see that there's definitely some massive upside. Daniels right now is just positioned extremely high. But if we see a little pullback, I see some great opportunities. Stroud's vertical sold for $15,000 in a PSA 10 at the peak of this offseason. If Daniels dips a little bit, you can maybe get a PSA 10 for around that $13,000, $14,000 price range. I think throughout the offseason, they can go higher than Stroud's did, just based off of his playoff success and his overall rookie year. So I definitely like his Color Blast and his kabooms. Now, next up is going to be Jayden Daniels XRC rookie cards. Now, these are true rookie cards in its sense that they're released, on draft day, pretty much, around that time. So it's a 23-24 instead of a 24-25 product. And I really like these because they are very hard to grade. PSA 10, there's a pop 5 of them. Very sought after. Pretty much first, Commander's uniform rookie card that's actually sought after. If you can go after, a gold or a tie-dye, I would highly recommend those. When there is a little dip after the season or when he gets knocked out, if he loses to the Eagles, whether he does or not something to predict, but I would say definitely could see a buying opportunity there. A lot of his cards right now, this card, they're coming down a little bit more, back down to earth. I think some of these sales are just insane. We're seeing close to $1,000 for an ungraded sealed XRC. So, at some point, I think if this comes down a little bit, you could see a great buying opportunity for Jayden Daniels XRCs, because overall, I really love these cards. I think overall, they're going to have great upside throughout the summer. Not so much supply, but a ton of demand. So I see great opportunity in Jayden Daniels XRC market. Now, his other market that I really like is his prism numbered cards. His prism numbered cards, I think, are going to be very, very important because he does not have those autos. So his camo prism, for example, this is out of 25. I believe we had a couple public sales of them. So we're seeing some public sales of his camo prisms. These cards right here, tough to grade, extremely sought after, and very low pop. That's something I really love when investing in a young player like this, especially when his base prisms are going to get graded at an insane level. You don't want to be stuck with an investment that people are going to be grading all the time, that the supply is going to go up, that's going to be less and less rare over time. Something like a camo prism, max, you're going to see a couple more pop up throughout the offseason in, strong grades. I think at this point, it's safe to say Daniels is going to be the name of the summer, and his prism cards, his numbered cards are going to be, if we look at what happened with Stroud's market last year, I think, his prism camos, you're going to be set up pretty well for the offseason. Now, another card I really like that has become one of the most popular cards to go after is a blue cracked ice. Now, these are just like a fan favorite. So much demand over these. And I like them because they're a little bit lower than they have been for a little bit. In terms of, this card right here, it's had a couple of high sales, but if you can get that card around that $3,000 price point, I think going into the summer, you're going to have a great summer. Stroud last offseason, his blue prism was, his blue ice prism had some super strong sales. This card right here was one of the cards that I saw the most in the hobby, people going after and chasing. In a PSA 10, it was a $7,000 card at one point. And I think overall, if we look at what happened throughout the offseason with Stroud and his, it was started off a little bit under 5,000. It kept jumping and it went up to 7,000. I think Daniels could see a very strong market in terms of his blue ices. He's got less cards as of now than Stroud, and he's got more hype as of now than Stroud. So it's going to be very interesting to see where his blue ice goes. I think if you can get them raw around that $3,000 price point, if you can get a 10 around that $5,000 to $6,000 price point, I think you're going to do really well in the summer. So I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. If there's another player whose cards you want me to break down and opportunities that you guys want me to break down, let me know in the comment section below. But thank you guys so much for all the support. And other than that, I'm out. Peace.